And Pakistan is the entire 5.5 lakhs of troops. They're all terrorists. They've only been trained for it. So this is what they keep doing. And this is what they are. See, they have decided India is their enemy. Constantly hate India, bleed India with thousand cuts. That's what Pakistan is doing all about. From like the Air Marshal saying, absolutely right. Right from 47 onwards, what have they done? Nothing, and they continue to do it. And that is why the Prime Minister this time has been very serious. He says, let's finally try and sort out this issue once and for all. That's what his plan is. That is why he's told everybody, come on, let's work it out and see how best we can ensure it. That's what Pakistan is all about. But the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without a fight. And therefore, multi-pronged attack, multi-pronged measures are available to us to be able to tackle Pakistan. Because Pakistan, there's no denying the fact. How did Pakistan get into financial action task force? How did they get into grey list? There's so much of pressure. And India, Pakistan has been isolated. Everybody knows that the hub of terrorism in the world is Pakistan. Why else would they have Osama bin Laden a kilometer away from the Pakistan military academy? Everybody knew.
And, and their foreign minister almost admitted it in an interview as well, saying we've been doing the dirty job for the UK and the US for decades, and now we are suffering. Now, if they've been doing the dirty job, which means they've really set up an ecosystem that's robust enough to carry out something like this. They could be in denial, but in every interview, in every statement, you have glimpses of which that's exposed. A quick word from Karthikeya on this. Karthikeya, the steady momentum that India is building up. We first suspended the Indus Water Treaty. We've downgraded diplomatic ties with Pakistan. We've sent out all Pakistanis from the country. Their diplomats have been declared persona non grata in India. There's really now no room for any kind of friendship with Pakistan at this point. If anything, it's only military action next. And now with Prime Minister Modi's statement, if I could get those visuals of the meet, the high-level meet Prime Minister Modi had with his statement to the armed forces, is it inevitable, a military retaliation?
I think I would agree with the larger consensus in this panel that we have to see this in plurality of action. You know, a lot of people see military action in singularity. You know, even in 1971, it's part of the written, data available. Indira Gandhi wanted action in Bangladesh, but the Indian army was the one, which told Indira Gandhi, then the general, very categorically, that the madam, you need to wait for some time. It's all recorded. So the Prime Minister of our country, then Indira Gandhi, went by the advice of the general. And then the whole, assault on Bangladesh and the way Mukti Bahani was being trained was delayed for a certain time. So that's one. Secondly, one point I would like to bring in. You see, who are we dealing with? We are dealing with two problems here. One, we are dealing with a state which is a proxy state. People call it a hard state. It's not like India, robust democracy, professional army, institution, peaceful transition of power. You know, we are a post-colonial oasis. Look at Bangladesh, look at Pakistan, look at Myanmar, look at Nepal, look at, I'm sorry to use the word even, Malay, you look at Sri Lanka, look at Afghanistan. We are a democratic oasis with a professional army. Professional men run this army. Pakistani army, though trained professionally, is run by unprofessional people with no larger political objective for their country. These men, they have become the custodian of their country. And second thing is, Nabila, which is historical. Pakistan has always been a proxy state for the British, so that they act as a buffer between the Soviet Union and their larger interests. For the United States of America, for the number of the Afghan wars they've fought. And third, China, which is the emerging power right now. It's a proxy state. So they, our strategic initiative, our diplomatic offensive gets blunted there because they're serving a purpose. Tell me which country is helping Pakistan so much these days? It's Turkey and China. Who was helping Pakistan 20 years ago? It was United States of America. And how did Gilgit Scouts become active at the time of when the accession to Kashmir was being decided upon? It was UK. If you look at the archival notes, it was UK which actively participated that, the entirety of the JNK was not with India. So my point is very simple. We are dealing with a proxy state. We are dealing with the Pakistani army whose sole aim is to be the custodian, and that's the character that needs to change. The character of the Pakistani army. That is the big problem. The statement by Asif Munir, the problem they have in Balochistan. I think India is on the right path. I agree with General Kulkarni that it has to be a hybrid action. Grey zone warfare has to be conducted in Pakistan, that they have no respite. When I say no respite, no respite. People say that our forces get no respite. I have covered Kashmir. 30 years in this profession. I have seen men in knowledge working hard 24 into 7. I think it's time to punish them 24 into 7. It should not be a 1 day, 2 hours, 3 hours affair. And I completely agree when he said it should be visible, demonstrable, and so that public could believe in Pakistan should not be able to contest the way the Balakot they tried to contest. And I think all those things must have been taken into consideration by Pakistan. So, I think we are looking at a very different thing. I'm not a military expert that way, but as a journalist who has covered army as a beat, I think that it's going to be different. These are the thoughts which come to my mind, Nabila.
Yeah. Finally, my final question to General Sharma, Prime Minister Modi's statement, how unprecedented is this? I've said it repeatedly myself that I haven't seen it in my history, that at the time that I've lived, of a Prime Minister saying that all hope and all power and control with the army to decide what to do next. A public a statement which has not been said in public but in an internal meeting, but this is basically a strategy building method, we understand, by the Prime Minister and his high top level security team, where they've decided that the military will be taking the next action. Does this also, reassuring the armed forces and affirming that the government trusts the military entirely, boost the morale on the ground of our forces?
Thank you, Nabila, once again. I absolutely agree with what Karthik has said in the last part of this his thought process, which said that what we have to achieve is authenticity. We have to say that what we hit is hard and solid and over a period of time. Let me say what's the difference here. The difference is that this is a change of tack. This is a time when Pakistan and Zulfikar and Bhutto said that, we will eat grass or make a bomb. The whole state, whole country of Pakistan is eating grass. Yes, they have a bomb. So that's the state of their country today. Now, this is the change of tack. In last 25 years, the Pakistanis have not, no terrorist has ever hit a tourist. Total number of tourists killed in last 25 years is only 45, which also includes the pilgrims, which are not actually tourists. This includes Mata Vaishno Devi, Amarnath Shrine, which are now fairly secure. So they never hit a tourist. They never hit an apple trade. It's a given in there. This is the first time they hit tourists and they hurt the sentiments of the grassroots public here. This is a change of tack for Pakistan, the operations being carried out here. And this couldn't have done by indigenous and ingrown terrorists, because it hurts the whole population. The population go against the terrorists and the terror acts for having hit their livelihood. This is a difference. This is not what is happening. Second, in 2000 we had 2001 we had 4,000 people killed in 1 year. Last year we had only 127 people killed. In terrorist and security forces combined together, there is a change of culture here. We had in the course of last so many years done fantastic work. I'm not saying terrorism is dead. It's not dead, but then it is in embers. So this is a time that was necessary to hit the people in this manner. That's why it's a deliberate operation. I will not say it has happened because General Munir 4 days ago made a statement about that two-nation theory and all that. This required operation over a month of planning. It is General Munir may have been a catalyst to this one. Yeah. But actually the planning would have been done in the month of March. It can't be one fine day they land up here and spray bullets and have 70 people injured. So this is a different. So when the government of India decides that, okay, we will have to take a sustained action, and they have taken an act of war. You see, nothing hurts Pakistan more than IWT. That's why they said, they are not saying you hit by aircraft or you hit by ground forces. That are not act of war. They are not worried. IWT, they say act of war. That's what is Dukti Rag. His jugular vein, which he talks about, is water. It's not anything else. Kashmir is a identity issue with Pakistan. They want to bind their country together, keep saying Kashmir, Kashmir, Kashmir. Otherwise, the country will split into pieces. So Kashmir is an identity issue, but IWT is an act of war. And they have gone across and branded. One chap says, हमारे पास पाव पाव के bomb hai. Can you imagine? Pav pav, other pav ke bomb hai. What a very shameful way of saying it. I wish to say, let the forces take 1 day, 2 days, 1 year. Let them stew in anguish as to what's going to happen. Why? There is a public opinion, there is a public pressure, there is anxiety here as to what answer we're going to give. Let's start doing short-term actions on IWT. Open the water canal, which starts from Aknoor and Keshtar to Jammu. Shed some water. All the Ratley dams and all the Kishan Ganga dams start pushing somewhere. At least make some difference. Open the Salal gates. Let the flood the water go away. Let the silt go down there. Let's flood their water, and then stop the water to make the reservoir again. Start playing games. That's sustained. It's not one action that military does or 10 actions that military does. And then I will end by saying, is this an era of war?
Yeah.
I mean, finally, everything can escalate to a war. So is this going to be an era of war? Something which we have openly stated is not an era of war. Well, you see, Ukraine and Russia are fighting for last 3 years. Russia, big country, fighting for 3 years. Are we wanting to fight for next 3 years? I mean, are we ready for this kind of a role? We have to plan our operations militarily with great amount of rational thinking and sanity. It can't be today, it can't be tomorrow, it can be after 6 months, but it should not be done in a hurry to prove a point. That point will be proved only by keeping the pressure on in any which way. As General Kulkarni, my good friend, says, cyber attack, put a space thing, and you make life miserable. Make 2 ships stop, 2 ships, and research the ships as to what the hell are they carrying. Every which way that you can do it, let's do it. It's not a question of taking military action alone. Thank you.
All right, very well said. I really appreciate all our panelists joining us for tonight. This is unprecedented for a Prime Minister to be saying that he holds absolute faith and trust in the Indian Army, and they now will decide to react at the place and time of their choosing. This is huge, forces, and it speaks of retaliation.
Indian Army, then the Pinto will get annoyed.
Sorry?
Indian Armed Forces.
Air Marshal, thank you very much to you too. Thank you all of you, sir. Thank you.